Issue 224. We start out with Sonic briefly confusing Ixis by calling the Sword of Light the Sword of Acorns when Ixis saw it destroyed. This never really needed to happen. He could have just called it Sword of Light to begin with. Sonic blocks his magic with the sword. Jeffrey tells the Freedom Fighters that this is all their fault for not paying attention to him, and tells them that Ixis is with the Council. After Jeffrey is accused of killing Hershey when he clearly looked depressed about it earlier, he's outraged, showing that he still has the real Jeffrey deep in him, and explains that Hershey and him were on separate missions, and he investigated when she didn't report in, saying that she sacrificed herself fighting the Eggman Empire, clearly full of respect for her. It really goes to show how little the writer cares about Hershey that she was killed off unceremoniously off screen. I don't blame him. She didn't have a personality. Over at the Egg Dome, Eggman puts an emerald into a machine to start charging it and tells Snively to prepare for launch. Back to Sonic, he tells Ixis that he's evil once again and sends him away after a while of bickering with a stone. Elias jumps in epically with a sword of his own and says that he will not give up his father's crown so easily. Good, but he's put himself in a lot of danger. Somehow he has the Sword of Light. I guess Sonic dropped it and Elias picked it up off screen. And after Elias blocks Ixis' fire and deals with some wind, Rotor tells Hamlin, who's pounding his fists together, looking eager, while Dylan looks angry, that they have to back them up. And here is where the issue goes completely off the rails. Out of nowhere, Penelope refuses to let Nicole give Rotor his nanite suit that was supposed to be a secret and by Ixis, not because it was supposed to be a secret and he just revealed himself to have been going against the Council's wishes. No, that's not going to happen because actions don't have consequences. I'd like to point out that Penelope doesn't look scared at all. It was implied that all Ixis could do with fear was blow the pre-existing fear out of proportion. But Penelope doesn't look scared to begin with, or even like she's hiding fear. She just looks like she's totally calm. So why is she making this treasonous decision if she doesn't have any fear for Ixis to manipulate her? Instead, she refuses because she says that she, Hamlin, and Dylan are just counselors, not freedom fighters. Even though Rotor just said they were all trained as substitute freedom fighters. So the only reason Penelope is being made to say this is because the writer wants to make things harder for Sonic, forcing the concept of only him against Ixis, to say the least. At least Hamlin is against her making this decision. Penelope outright threatens Hamlin with being charged of dereliction of duty when she should be all about letting Ixis get as many against him as possible. Penelope officially lost all my respect, not that I had any for this bland character to begin with. Hamlin is furious, and even him being reminded that he betrayed Sally isn't enough for me to get on that duck side. Honestly, I think it would have been better if maybe Hamlin got sacrificed himself trying to fight Ixis. That would have tried to redeem his character a little bit, instead of what he does here. Then Rosemary manages to make me respect her even less than any of them, because she decides to side with Ixis. You idiot! I wish she never got back from the Bem planet. The only explanation I can think of is that Ixis is deciding to make his casting a spell on people to make them go to his will subtle by only brainwashing a few of the Council. I mean, I don't understand why only Phanidibus would be able to cast a hex on someone to bend them to his will, when Ixis seems just as powerful as he is, if not more so. But one, just 2 council members, they should still be outvoted. That's how councils work. And 2, why the hell can't he just brainwash everyone in the room then? He brainwashed the soldiers to fight Robians. I mean, there is the Sword of Light here, so maybe it would have undone his brainwashing, but only if Sonic put it right up against the people who are brainwashed, which he won't. You can't give a character a storybreaker power like brainwashing because it forces him to use it half-assedly or he'd win. And again, she looks completely calm and even resentful, not scared. So Ixis isn't using her pre-existing fear to blow her feelings out of proportion and make her side with him out of cowardice because she doesn't have any cowardice to begin with. Rotor is naturally outraged at Rosemary's betrayal, and so is Uncle Chuck, who has every reason to be angry with her since she's being almost no better than Jeffrey right now. Chuck says that he had thought the matter of Elias's role was already settled with her and her husband. Rosemary says that what was settled for the people was the existence of a king. Okay, so why the hell are you, Mrs. Democracy, supporting Ixis being an absolute dictator over you? He wouldn't uphold the democracy you cherish so much unless he brainwashed the people into supporting him. She better be mind-controlled, but I have a feeling they're not going to reveal that. And then Dylan sides with Ixis, out of complete cowardice, saying that Ixis could protect them from Nicole. Remember, Dylan used to be a freedom fighter and fight against Eggman. I have a hard time believing this kind of a coward would have been a substitute freedom fighter without his knees quivering so much that he wouldn't be able to do it because they'd turn into jelly. So despite the obvious fact that Ixis is obviously evil, the only counselors on Sonic's side are Uncle Chuck, Rotor, and Hamlin of all people. Meanwhile, Leon does says to Eggman that all systems are online and engines are fully powered, so stage 1 of Operation Clean Sweep is 15% done. Eggman tells them to begin the countdown early, saying that he's excited to remake the world in his image. Jeffrey grabs Tails with his arms around the neck, and Sally tells him that if he thinks he's innocent and Ixis is in the right, if he's doing the right thing, he should stand down and let justice take its course. He lets himself get handcuffed with a smile and says jokingly that he'll play along with that. Nicole says while holding some crystals that the nanites that Ixis crystallized are gone. That's what he did to them? She says that she can rebuild the nanites and feel the nanites, but the magic changed and destroyed them and she can't get these ones back. It took a while for me to figure out that she means only the nanites she sent at Ixis got destroyed, and he's not rendering the entirety of the nanites somehow unable to be connected to by Nicole wirelessly anymore. Good. Unfortunately, this causes the civilians to start to side with Ixis because they're afraid of Nicole, saying that Sonic's fight good guys too, and Jeffrey's supposed to be a hero. Nicole, looking horrified, agrees to get out of there. Penelope says that the council should vote on this, and when Sonic naturally points out as the voice of reason, Sonic, the voice of reason, that Ixis is the bad guy, Hamlin turns on Sonic out of nowhere, whining and bitching about Sonic not following the rules of the council when they're stupid. This bullshit is shaping up to be even worse than issue 197 was. And even Uncle Chuck is now telling Sonic to calm down. This is so poorly written, what a mess. Out of nowhere, Elias asks Ixis if he would honor the council if he stepped down, and Ixis says that he will honor the crown and the will of the people. Why are you believing him? Why did Sonic ever stop fighting him to begin with for even a second just because the counselors started arguing? Sonic even points out to Elias that he fought to stay king, saying, "You fought to stay king. You were swinging at him a second ago too." If even the characters in the story point out how brain dead the writing is, that should really say something to warn Flynn that this is stupid, and that Elias is being an idiot and totally out of character with how he just acted 2 seconds ago. When Sonic tries to be smart and attack him with the Sword of Light again, Elias, of all people, stops him, saying that they can end this peacefully, even though no, he's not ending this because he's not stopping him from taking the crown. He's giving him exactly what he wants. He better be brainwashed too. Like seriously, all of this would be perfectly fine if we just had one thought bubble from Ixis explaining to him that he's brainwashing them or manipulating their fear, just like he did at Amina's concert. But no. Ellie says he's too powerful, being a coward, even though Meg married him for his bravery in the first place. And Sonic challenges Ixis, who taunts him about how he's committing treason. Yeah, against a bunch of brain-dead idiots who shouldn't be in charge of him to begin with. I miss the days when Sally was the only one who was in charge. I officially hate almost all of these people. Rosemary, Elias, Hamlin, Dylan, Penelope, all of them from this issue onwards can go fuck themselves. And aside from Hamlin, all of them used to be perfectly good characters in the roles they were supposed to stay in. Rosemary's Tails' mother. Elias is the admirable prince. Dylan and Penelope were substitute freedom fighters. So was Hamlin, but he was always a jerk from the very beginning. Sonic points out to the council that they wouldn't be turning on him if it were Eggman standing here. When Ixis says that Eggman's his enemy too, Sonic doesn't proceed to say that this doesn't make him a good person, since all the other villains hate Eggman too. Instead, he just insults him. As Elias and Sonic are arguing, Eggman's machine launches and the floor shakes with a rumble. Sonic tells Ixis to drop the crystal so he can step outside, and despite Ixis complaining about being told what to do like a rebellious child, he does so anyways. And everyone gasps at seeing a death egg fly over to their doorstep, looking like it's right in front of them and not way up in the sky. I have a question. Why the hell didn't Nicole create a force field and keep him out of the city? Well, this was shit. This issue is by Ian Flynn, and it's the perfect representation of how he's not perfect. This comes off as a sloppy fanfiction of the comic, trying to finagle a way to get Ixis to power without making it too easy. All Ixis would have to do to make this make sense is just brainwash everybody at once, including Sonic, into letting him be the king. Then we have an interesting plot where the other heroes know that all they have to do is depower Ixis before he can brainwash them too. Maybe they can go traveling around the world looking for an artifact or get some more Chaos Emeralds. Instead, all sorts of counselors cowered out and bowed to Ixis instead of having any sort of faith in Sonic the Hedgehog. We could have at least had Ixis explain to the audience in a thought bubble that he's brainwashing the counselors one by one, and thinks that just brainwashing Sonic as well would be too easy. Maybe it's all part of the game? But that's not explained. So it just comes off as an absolute disaster. And yet I want to read more, and I'm frustrated that I'm getting a break from this with Sonic Universe. It's not a good sign when you're reading the comic just to see if the writer will resolve the complete disaster and explain all the bullshit. You're supposed to read it because you're enjoying it. This is worse than 197 by far. Rosemary has no reason to support Ixis as the king when she hates royalty in general, and the rest are just being cowards. We could have had Rotor fight with the nanite suit. We could have had Hamlin and Dylan fight like they were going to, Hamlin sacrificing himself, and Elias keep on fighting like he was originally doing. But instead, the whole issue goes up in flames, and it completely overshadows what Eggman does in the ending.